Hey everyone, welcome to Groundcover's first ever product showcase, where we come and have the product team show you exactly what we've built over the past month. I'm Or Benjamin, VP Product here at Groundcover, going to be moderating a little bit and allowing these guys to show you everything they've built throughout the last month. As you know, we've done quite a bit and we build really fast here. So we're not going to spend too much time talking and instead focus on showing everything that's changed in the product itself. We're going to kick off with a feature that I think is up there in terms of what we've released in the past year or so, in terms of the value and the impact that it can make for our customers. Omer, you want to take it away and talk to us about the Slack app?
Sure. I'm very excited to be here. For those of you who I have not met yet or have not met me yet, my name is Omer. I'm the product manager for AI here at Groundcover. So I want to talk about the Slack app, and before I do that, I do want to point out a couple of important things that I think would interest you to know on why we are investing in the Slack app and why we believe it has a lot of value for you as our users. I will start off by just sharing my screen for a moment because it touches on my first point, which is that we wanted to make our notifications exceptional. And we wanted to improve not just by putting the description and the text and all the information on the monitor, but to also be able to show you the chart with the history of the notification, to give you interactive buttons and a variety of other improvements. And so in order to do that, we needed to take full ownership and create a Slack app for Groundcover. And I think maybe the biggest improvement here for a lot of you would be that you do not need to be an admin anymore in order to add more channels. So in the past, if only admins had access to the destinations, you would need to create a Slack webhook for every channel that you wanted to send notifications to. And from now on, the admin does need to create the Slack app itself, but after that, every user could choose whatever channel they want from the workspace to send notifications for any monitor. The second point is that we really wanted to meet you guys, our users, our customers. We wanted to meet you where you work. And I assume a lot of you are like us here at Groundcover, working extensively through Slack. And so we wanted to extend our agent's capability to Slack as well. So you will be able to tag the Groundcover agent and continue if it's to pull data, logs, traces, events, or to actually investigate flow. So if you have an issue, which is what I will show in a moment here, you have an issue and you want to investigate it, you could do that right off of Slack. And we've been working heavily on our agent as well. I think we have a really exceptional agent for observability. And I would really love for any of you who have tried it out, just to drop in some of your thoughts in the chat. If you have, any thoughts for improvement, if you have things that you want to share on what you like to do with it, what flows you use it for, we are very, very open and interested in hearing what you guys think. And lastly, we wanted to connect the agent to the organizational knowledge that you guys have. We want to make it better. And we can see that this is a trajectory that is happening in the industry, in other vendors as well. So you could see also for Clotag, their investment around the Slack app as well, making the agent a team member. And so we want to do two things here. One is to basically share the knowledge that the agent outputs when you ask it for an investigation. We want to share that with your team members as well in Slack where you work at. And in the future, also to make it more knowledgeable for past incidents, for example. So if you have an issue that you've investigated in the past, and now you're investigating it again, let's say a month from now, we will be able to know in reference to what happened back then, how you remediated it, and whatever other interesting information you may have on there. So I'm done with the talking. Let's dive into the actual flow. And we see that we have a live update on one of the notifications here. So that's pretty cool. The first important thing to note about the Slack app is the way that we decided to deploy it. And I want to go ahead and show you. we've decided to go not with the old SaaS way of creating a Slack app in the Slack directory, where then you basically send all your traffic through that vendor's servers, but instead we wanted to do it the BYOC way, right? So we are creating a manifest of the groundcover Slack app for you. And so what you would need to do as an admin is to go to the connectors page here under integrations and to Slack, and as an admin to the OR connectors. From here, I already have a couple of Slack workspaces that I've configured. You can add multiple, but you will essentially see this page. And here you would just need to click on create an app. It will take you to Slack. You just need to pick the workspace, click on next, and then click on create and install. Just a couple more clicks and we're basically done. Now this needs to be done once as an admin, right? And then all the users just connect with a single click. So it's just a one-time thing. So once I've created the Slack app, I just go to the the app settings, take the ID, take the secret, the X app token, go back to our product, insert all this information. You can also download the icon for ground cover, because it would be nicer if you put it in the app icon so that it actually shows and reflects that it's a ground cover application. Again, because this is an app that you're creating, so you own it. We're just here to help you with the manifest. And once you have that, you just click on connect and you're done. Then the Slack app is configured, and every user just goes to my connection, clicks on connect, there's an OAuth, and they're done as well. Alternatively, what you could do is also just tag the agent or tag the app from Slack. If I do add ground cover, and it will prompt an unauthenticated user to authenticate. Now, once we've done that, let's kick off on what we've actually improved in the last month and how this actually helps me. So you can see that I have here an alert that is firing, right? It was resolved and then it was impending, and now it started firing as of this point right here. So I will go into here, and the first thing that I usually do when I see an issue that I'm not very familiar with is to ask a teammate that might know before I start to, go and dive deeper into this. So in this case, or I'm going to tag you here and say, hey, have you seen this issue before? And I will wait a moment while or here is typing. Okay, so he thinks there's a linear ticket. Now, I'm a bit lazy and I don't want to start looking in previous notifications in Slack maybe, or to find it manually. What I want to do is just ask the ground cover agent, investigate this issue, and let it do its magic. Now, what you will see that is happening is that the agent is getting into its context the issue that it was tagged in. So it sees this entire thread. It sees this issue that was sent by us. And it also sees the thread, right? So I can open up the to-do here, and I can actually see what the agent is planning to do and what it's doing in live. So I can see that it's looking for some traces, some logs, some configs, and also related linear tickets. Now, this is very cool. Just because of it was mentioned in the thread, it decided to use a linear connector, which I will show you in a moment what it looks like and how you configure. It decided to use that to search linear if there's already an existing issue, an existing ticket in linear for this problem, because maybe it can learn from that as well, and it will help the investigation. Right? So as that was going, you can see here that it found the root cause. There is a feature flag that is disabled in my invoice service. Okay, so let's go ahead and say, you know what? Can you validate this feature flag in my invoice service? And then what I expected to do, and actually I didn't tell it to look into GitHub, so I will see in a moment if it's going to search from my GitHub repo or if it's going to go to the actual config of the. So let's try to do this again. Live demos are always interesting. So let's do that in the demo repo. One more important thing to note here while it's loading is the way that this is done. It was very important for us to keep the same RBAC for the users and the same permissions. So the agent here, in this case, is essentially impersonating me as a user in groundcover. It's using my RBAC and my permissions. So I have no way of using the agent to exploit it and extract data that is outside of my scope. And also it's using my budget. So every user has an AI budget in the organization. So the agent is basically impersonating me and acting on my behalf inside groundcover product. So here I can see that it was looking in my repo in GitHub, and it found the exact YAMLs where this was disabled and the exact Go code where I have disabled it. So that's pretty cool. And to top it all off, I could go ahead and say open a PR in Cursor. And I'll go back to this in a moment. While that's thinking, I want to go ahead and talk about the connectors as well. For those of you who have seen it from a previous release, we have extended pretty extensively the number of connectors that we support now. So you could basically go ahead and connect to any one of these. In linear or in any one of them, essentially, you can also restrict as an admin the permissions for any of the tools. So if I go to linear and I go to manage, it will go ahead and list all of the tools that I have or that the MCP of linear has. And as an admin, I could go ahead and say, this was the default. And I can say, I don't want people to be able to delete comments from ground cover or with AI. So I could go ahead and say, as an admin, I'm restricting my organization from doing that. And maybe saving comments, let's make that that it needs approval. And as an admin, I'm setting the most permissive restrictions that the organization has. And then as a user, from the My Connection, so the OR connector is the admin side, the My Connection every user has. If I go into here, you could see that for save comments, I can't make it automatic. I can't change this, right? I can only make it more restrictive. I can only move it to be blocked. And the delete, I can't use it at all. So it's blocked. The admin decided to block it. That's what it is. If we go back to the Slack investigation here, you can see that for Cursor, it asked me for approval. That's because the connector in ground cover has a restriction. It has a guardrail that it cannot do this automatically. It can't just change code with Cursor automatically. So I can go ahead and approve this. And it's going to continue and open a PR in Cursor on my behalf. Now, the last thing here, I'll just point out the interactive buttons as well. So you could also kick off any investigation just by clicking on here or silencing just from here without going into the platform. In this case, I want to go ahead and view the issue. So I'll go into here. Second, it jumped for me. And I think this is also a good time to go ahead and hand it off over to Amir, who is our product manager, who is responsible for the monitors area.
Thank you, Omer. I will share my screen. And let's talk a little bit about monitors. So Slack is only the beginning of the investigation, right? You usually define a monitor and then send it to Slack, to PagerDuty, to whatever destination you're using. And once you get a notification, you continue the investigation in ground cover. And you probably noticed that we released a new issue page that came and replaced the old experience in the issue drawer. A little bit of why we decided to make it a full page and what we changed here before I touch on and zoom out on monitors in general. So we decided to go with a full page because we knew that most of the times you won't come to see an issue directly from the monitor issues page, right? It will come from a Slack notification. And we wanted to help you and give you the context that you need easily and help you answer a few quick questions, right? When this monitor first fired, what was it about? Which monitor is it's related to? What is the description? Did it have any active silences when I looked at it? And what is the timeline and what happened around this issue? So you can see that we also changed the timeline. The timeline now clearly tells you when the issue was in normal state, when it was firing, when it was pending, when it was silenced. And you can even see when it had notifications. And as I scroll here, you can see that the monitor kept sending notifications, and then when it was silenced, it stopped sending notifications. In the past few weeks and the past few months, sorry, we've done a lot to improve the overall experience around monitors. And monitors, as you know better than me, monitors are mission critical and probably the most mission critical part of ground cover. And I might be biased here, but it's also the most complicated part of ground cover. And we want to improve the stability and the overall experience by tackling three main pillars. The first one is that we want to prevent bad monitors before they happen, right? So we've added a lot of validations to the monitor schema. We improved the monitor monitor Terraform resource and released a new V2 monitor. And this was about like preventing users from creating bad monitors. Then we want to tackle real world data problems. So a good example for that is that AWS metrics usually, sorry about that, AWS metrics usually come and are ingested to the platform with a delay. And we've added a new knob here, the evaluation delay knob, that allows you to and automatically set to look at queries with an offset that only once the data is in ground cover, you'll see the monitor will evaluate that. We also made it clear we made the no data state much more clear in the UI. We already had a way to treat no data, monitor with no data, for example, metrics that stopped sending data as normal or firing if you want to get notifications on that, or as no data. But now no data is a first-class citizen state in the UI. We also improved the day-to-day flow. So I showed you the issue page, but we also added saved views to monitors. And monitors now allow you to search on your custom labels. For like in this simple example, I'm looking only at monitors of my service. And you can also see the custom facets that were added to the monitor page. Also, we've made some improvements to the monitor drawer. The monitor drawer now can show you the issues over time of this specific monitor. You can see if this monitor is noisy. Was it always noisy? Does it have many open issues right now? And also the notifications that were sent and the configuration of this monitor. So we've done a lot of progress and then we've added a lot of improvements in monitors, but we'll continue to work on that. And we are always, as always, happy to get feedback from you on the new experience. So feel free to reach out on Slack or even DM and send us feedback on the new experience. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Amir. We're now going to hand it over to Ron, who owns the dashboard and visualization space here at Groundcover, to talk us through what else we did as part of the core product uplift.
Awesome. Thank you, Amir. So hi, everybody. I'm Ryan. I'm from the product team, as Or mentioned. And as Amir just described, monitors, usually a very natural next step is to also set up a visualization that will allow users to either drill down easier into a specific issue or to proactively see what is going on in the platform. So I'm going to start off with creating a new dashboard, and you will already see that the experience have changed. We added here an agent mode prompt, which allows you to just describe what is the dashboard that you're looking to create, and we'll let our agent create it for you. A bit below that, you can see some of our curated dashboards. We created a new dashboard catalog that Danny will talk about later on, and you can use them as an existing asset that you can just use, or you can still go with the classic approach of starting from scratch. I prepared upfront a prompt in which I want to create a dashboard that will allow me to check the health of each of our workloads. And I want to present specific types of widgets describing infra usage, error traces over time, and error logs over time. So let's see it going live. In the meantime, I would share that we're also investing a lot in dashboards in the last few months in different trajectories. One of them is the ability to better organize the dashboard. So towards the end of this week, we'll add support for tags. So you can easily mark which dashboards are more important for you, and you can search for them and browse by them. Second trajectory is around the builder experience, which we're going to see here. And the last one is on consumption and how is it easier for users who use the dashboard to better understand it and make it more actionable. So as you can see, it took us a few seconds, and now we got this beautiful dashboard presenting different widgets such as CPU usage, memory usage, and over here I can also see error traces over time and indication about logs. So let's go ahead and create this one. And now I can also modify it a bit. For example, let's say I want to take this specific widget, and I want to see, I want to create a visual indication for someone who's just looking at it to see whether it's clear enough. You can see that we added additional capabilities to customize the specific widget, such as the ability to present a table view, and then you will see a breakdown of each of the workloads and by cluster and by namespace, along with various metrics, making it very easy to use. And I can also add a specific threshold that I want to put the bar at for CPUs. And let's call it high consumption, for example. And it will already be added here. Cool, I might have filtered something here. Okay, one more thing that we added is the ability to set variables. For those of you who are not familiar with the concept of variables allow you to very quickly set up one filter that can be used across multiple widgets. In this case, if I want to focus on workloads, this is the one that I want to create. I have here the ability to see different keys in the platform. I can get a hint about which one is more relevant. And in cases such as container ID, you would see that I have different options here, container.id for logs and traces, container underscore ID for metrics, and container ID for events. For those use cases, we also added the ability to set up custom mapping. So I can simply say for events, I want the same variable to address a different key. In this case, it won't be needed because workload is the main one. And I can simply go to any display and just add this variable in use. And once I select a specific value, it should have applied. Always nice seeing that on live demos, but that's part of it. One more thing that we add, again, agent mode, we just added it in all natural places. You already saw that maybe over here. as an option to edit it, and same goes with creating a widget. So now let's use a new visualization. For example, creating a tree map. This is also another visualization that we just added. And this one is amazing because it just allows you very easily to see what's going on. You can see what are the top namespaces in order of sorted by the number of errors that they had, and within it, the breakdown by each workload. I can easily go here and just add an additional parameter. And again, see the breakdown very easily. And as I mentioned, we also wanted to make everything very actionable. So of course, from every point here, I can just go ahead and go to the relevant page, see that in Explorer if I wanted to do additional breakdown by additional parameter, or see the raw data. Now, so far we've been looking at 5 minutes, but let's see what happens when we're looking at 14 days back. And we will see something very interesting here regarding logs. You can see that the last log that I have is somewhere around July 20th. And if you're wondering why, this is exactly why we added this new model called storage management. Storage management is a new tool for admins to better understand what is going on in their platform and what is their retention policy. We have here logs, traces, events, monitor issues, and APM. For each one, you can set what is the default retention. And this is based on your specific needs. You can change it at will. It will help you reduce cost or align with the policies, whatever you need. We also added the support for a cold storage, meaning that you will switch to a slightly less expensive storage at the expense of performance. And we also added the ability to set indexes. Indexes support two types of use cases. The first one is the ability to set a custom retention rule. Let's say that due to regulation, I want to make sure that everything in production will be kept instead of the default 8 days, let's say 90 days. I can just set this rule up, and from this moment on, all of the logs with end of production will be saved for 90 days. And it goes also the other way around. If I want to focus just on demo and say that I want to remove them after 2 days, it works perfectly well. The other need is we set up custom retention rules also as index tiers. Index tiers means that we're taking a specific query filter, like in this example, and we store it in a more performance-oriented way. So you can just query by this specific index tier instead of this term, and then your queries will run much faster. We did some benchmark around it. The results are really remarkable. And if there is something that is common, a common query that you're using, just do that. Let's see how it's going to be done. So first of all, if you always want to see what is your breakdown of logs or traces by index tiers, you can just use that. It's an additional parameter, additional attribute that we have for each log, and you can see the breakdown here very easily. And it also can participate as part of a specific query, and then you can just see all that specific logs. So this is about index tiers, and the next question is, where do these logs come from? And for that, we added a new model here in Explorer called ingestion. Ingestion gives you a quick view of what's going on with all the ingested logs and traces going into groundcover. Again, we wanted to give you the transparency of what is going on and to give you the control of how much you want to store, what do you want to store, and for how long. And for each one of them, you can, first of all, do a breakdown of any parameter that you have. And like in this example, I can see shop service is the one that's consuming most of the logs or generating most of the stored logs. And I can also look at different stages, such as ingested, meaning how many logs were actually processed in the platform, how many of them were filtered out, and how many of them eventually being stored. Filtered means that we have the logs pipeline and the traces pipeline available for you to just configure and decide what you want to do, how you want to manipulate all the ingested data to store what is more relevant for you. So this provides you with a great operational view, but in order to understand better what is the cost structure around it, I would hand it over to Danny to talk more about another new cool model that we just added.
Danny, you're on mute.
Sorry, starting over. I was not aware I was muted. So again, hi everybody. My name is Danny. I'm product manager at groundcover, and today I'm excited to show you a new data source connection that we just added. The ability to see your AWS cost and usage right inside groundcover. So this will give you the ability to see your cost as well as the ingestion that Ran just showed us and your other observability data in one place. So we'll go briefly how you get started with it. You go to integration, data source, and you can search for cost. And this is the integration wizard. It works for existing reports if you already have, or if you want to create a new report, that works as well. You then use it using CloudFormation or Terraform coming soon. Once you set it up, you will take about 24 hours or to 48 hours until the data is shown, but don't worry, already prepared that ahead of time. We already made this connection here. And if I now open the drawer, you can see the activity traces. If I change it to around 2 days, I can see when we pull the data from the AWS bucket into groundcover, also if we had any errors during this pull. And a new addition that we added is to all our popular integrations, we added the dashboards tab. And this is part of the dashboards catalog, which I will also show you in just a bit. So you can basically go from integration to dashboards really quickly and start dashboarding and monitoring what you need from that integration. So let's open this one, the AWS cost overview dashboard. And you can see the total spend over time, and the tree map that Ran also showed. It's really impressive visualization of it. And I think that the most powerful thing here is it's not just throwing your AWS cost report in groundcover. It's using it as a data source, and data source is a first-class primitive in groundcover. And you can use it in monitors also. Here I already prepared some monitor. If the EC2 is about $40 or about $30, send me an alert for it. And you can use it in various places. So if I like this dashboard, I can click install. And this will bring me back to the monitor, to the drawer here, so I can add more dashboards if I want, of course. And that's it about the AWS cost. Now let's jump to the catalog. So here I am in the dashboard catalog, and you can see here that it is grouped by various tags here. You can quickly search for cost, and you can find the AWS cost or various other costs related, or the ingestion overview, which Ran just showed us. And you can get to the dashboard catalog not only from here, you can also get it from the list. So if you go to the list and click the dashboard catalog, you can see it here. Let's click on one of them. Let's see, for example, I like this one, the API performance overview. So again, all these dashboards have now tooltips and information about what they mean, each widget. So if you don't understand something, if you need to ramp up quickly, this is really helpful. So if you click install the dashboard, you now have it. It's a read-only dashboard. You cannot edit it or change the queries. I can only view the queries, but I cannot edit them. And this is not a bug, it's a feature. It's managed by groundcover. That means that if we improve this dashboard or find a better way to visualize the error rate here, we'll send an update, and everybody that is using this dashboard as is from the catalog will get this update to their dashboards. If you want to customize it, you can press the customize button. This will create a copy of this dashboard. And now I can change it to what I want, and it's editable. And if I go to the dashboard list, I can see here that this is the one that's managed by groundcover, and this is my editable copy. And that was it about AWS costs and dashboard catalog. Back to you all.
Thanks, Donnie. Thank you to all the PMs here that kind of put in the effort and time to put this demo together for you guys. And a big thank you and shout out to all of the many customers that joined us here. We're building this for you. You're ultimately our North Star. You help us kind of your feedback with your areas for improvement you would like, with your 101 feature requests. Really appreciate everyone here. Please continue to do it. Challenge us, push us. What makes the platform better and better every day. We're going to be doing these sessions every single month. We're going to be showing you what we've built out. This is also going to be sent out to everyone who registered, as well as part of our monthly buzz that gets sent out via mail. And we're going to push these as well to the channels of your organizations on Slack. So you'll have access to this in a number of different forms. Love to hear any feedback from you guys. Feel free to ping me directly, kind of tell me what worked, what didn't work for you. And thanks again. Ciao, everyone. Have a great night.